Hello, can you? Okay, I lost the connection for a while. Something happened to my Wi-Fi, but on my mobile now. Okay, all right. So hello everyone. Dude, that's a challenge, like that thing still. All right. So hello everyone. I'm Kam from Social Enterprise Education Lab, or SEED.Lab in short. So today is just about getting to know SEED.Lab, and we will also be sharing with you, what Putri mentioned. We have our three CEOs from our first venture of the cohort here to also share with you. So some because I might be biased, if in case you have that perception that I might be overselling the program and things like that. So we have some products that we wanted to also share with you, our participants from the first cohort as well. So yeah, let's get started. Next, Farhan. Okay, so in case SEED.Lab is very foreign to you, so this is what SEED.Lab is. So Social Enterprise Education Lab is an initiative that we started last year in 2020. It is an initiative powered by Petronas, together with our partner Tata Consultancy Services. So what we do is basically we try to address social pain point in Malaysia. So we are not looking into solving some of Petronas pain point or some of our business pain points. So later you will see our product got nothing to do with gas, cooking gas or diesel or petrol or Premax or around 95, 97 and things like that. So it's purely to address social pain point. So we are inspired by almost similar digital innovation center that Tata is running in India. So they are called Digital Impact Square. So they have been running the program for 5 years, and we had the chance to actually been there and meet the innovators there. So we were inspired on how they are actually very, very driven to actually solve this social pain point in their own local community. So what we do is we wanted to replicate similar program in Malaysia. So we bring in Tata as our partner, and we started this program last year. We had 36 participants in the very beginning, and now what we are doing is actually our first cohort completed this year. We wanted to recruit and look for more aspiring individual to be a part of our second cohort. So we are actually doing our recruitment draft at the moment. Okay, next slide. So in case social enterprise is something very foreign to you, this one is even you can even ask Farhan later. Farhan was previously from Magic, so this is really his forte, and he even does this kind of workshop like SE masterclass and things like that. But in essence, what make a social enterprise and SE are these three components. First, SE needs to have their own business and revenue model, so it is sustainable on its own. So without this, an SE will only be an NGO because they need to depend on grant and other funder. So SE on its own, they do make money, they are profit generating entity. But what makes it different for a local or a normal conventional business? Because they have these two other components down there. The first one is social or environment cause that they want and vision and mission embedded as a part of the business. And the second one is targeted beneficiary, who they wanted to make impact to by doing their business. So taking for instance, your social goal, for instance, is basically to improve the income of a certain bracket like B40 community. So your session then your environmental or social cost is basically to improve the livelihood of certain group, and your targeted beneficiary in this case is B40 community, for instance. So it is more than just doing a business for making profit and generating revenue. That is also something that for you to accomplish through your business. But what you also do is also taking into consideration some of the pain point of the local community in this social pain point as well as a part of your business, and trying to resolve it through your business as well. So yeah, okay. So next slide. So through SEED.Lab, we want to promote more and create more social enterprises. But we know there's a lot of accelerator incubator program that we have outside. But what makes it different, and why SEED.Lab is SEED.Lab? So it is first, it is a comprehensive program. So SEED.Lab is basically end-to-end program, in a way that we take the individual as early as ideation stage. So from the ideation, from people who have an only idea, now they can actually develop their idea further, develop their prototype, prepare a solution, and up until they actually can find at least one paying customer for the solution that they develop. So it is end-to-end process. So hence the engagement or the program is actually from 12 to 18 months. So you can ask Farhan. Farhan is from the ecosystem. He knows that this is I think the longest program in Malaysia. because we cover end-to-end phases rather than taking just one phase or the other phase in throughout your entrepreneurship journey. We intend to cover the entire process. So I think being part of this program also we could see a lot of also life-changing life-changing transformation of our participants who came in as an idea and came in with the idea and they managed to actually develop their prototype and actually have at least develop their own company and bring they graduate with their own social enterprise by the end of the program. Second, we also provide financial support and assistance. So for the participants, we do provide them on individual basis financial support in terms of allowance. So we do provide monthly allowance ranging from 2,200 ringgit to 3,000 ringgit per month. Based on the phases. So the program is comprised of 3 phases. We will go through that later, but for each of the phases, there would be a different tier or different offering in terms of how we pay your allowance as you progress. Last year also, we also provide our cohort one venture with MVP grant for them to develop their prototype. So last year we give around 50K, 50,000 ringgit per team for them. This is only for prototyping for them to develop their solution and get it ready for the market. All right. Last but not least, by leveraging on Petronas and our partner Tata, what we plan to do is also to give you access to ecosystem and mentorship. So by leveraging on our network and also by leveraging our network, we hope to help you, the participants, to knock doors, to bridge you to crucial potential ecosystem players, look for room of collaboration and all the and those items are very crucial, especially when you're developing a solution and for you to be ready for the market later. So these are basically in summary what makes SEED.Lab different and what put is different from the rest of the program out there. Okay, next slide. So just give you a bit of background. So once you embark, how does it feel? Once you embark on this journey, and what does it feel? Nanti you can also ask our participant how is a day looks like for each of our participant, or we call them seedlings. So, but basically these are the three phases that we have. So those before sustain and scale are a part of the program. So we are estimating 4 to 6 months for each of the phases. So the first one is ideation. Ideation, in the end, as the name suggests, the name of the phase suggests, is basically what you do is to have clarity on the idea that you wanted to develop. So perhaps you may have the idea already, but what we want is for you to have a refined problem statement that you wanted to solve before you even start coming up with a solution to your problem. You need to be addressing the right problem first. So what we do during ideation is we do primary and secondary research. We talk to the people on the ground. We do a lot of validation in terms of the idea, whether this is really the problem, the root cause of the problem, and is this something that you can actually move forward and proceed with developing the solution to the problem. So that is what ideation is all about. Incubation, on the other hand, is I think this is among the most interesting part. There will be a lot of on-ground engagement because this is where you start doing your prototyping, coming up with solution to your problem that you have identified earlier. So this is also when we mentioned that we will be assisting you with your prototyping in terms of providing grant. This is also the stage that we will be providing that assistance to you. So commercialization is the last stage. So basically what commercialization does is scaling up and grow your business across the target market. This is the stage that you will form your own company among your co-founder in the program, as well as looking for paying customer for your solution. So if you realize there is a icon for each stages yang nampak macam checklist tu, that is a panel session. What the panel session does is it's like something equivalent to Shark Tank, in which we have a panel member. You will share your finding and you will share what you're finding just to ensure whatever you're finding is solid, something to ensure that when you pursue something that is something that will be working, have higher chances to be successful. So when we talk about 6 to 12 to 18 months, we assume that you will complete the entire phase. But those projects who did not make the cut in between the phases, for instance, after ideation, you present, and then incubation, you did not meet the criteria, then it will be dropped from the program. So just to give you a bit more feel, last year when we did ideation, we have 8 ideas. Then after incubation, we were down to 4, and after commercialization, we have 3. So those are the three ventures that we form: Food Lab, Teman, and also Softnet. So those are those projects that make it through until commercialization. Sustain in scale is the last stage, but this is not a part of the program. We intend to provide is non-monetary support to our graduating teams. So basically, after they graduated, just like our cohort one, what we are doing is providing them with 12 months non-monetary support in terms of coaching, networking, just to help them unblock the potential blockers that they could be encountering when they are doing their business, especially in terms of operational issues and things like that. So what we also do with even our cohort one is actually doing, having this regular check-in just to see how they are doing and the things that we can actually assist them with in terms of, doing their daily business. Yeah, that's basically it. Next slide. So back to this interesting part. I know there's a lot of people who are very, regardless of your education background, you're very into entrepreneurship here. So I think this is this is this is just we wanted to share who are we looking for as our participants in the second cohort. I think in terms of requirement, it's pretty much straightforward because we are looking into individual and teams. So you can apply either as an individual or teams between 2 to 5 team members. I'll explain further on the categories of application later. Malaysian and age limit of 35 years old. And the last but not least is ability to commit on full-time basis for a period of 12 to 18 months. Though this is assuming you will complete the entire phase like I mentioned. But like I also mentioned earlier, there are chances that, your project did not make the cut in between phases. So we are talking about maximum engagement period of 12 to 18 months, depending on your project. And last but not least, in terms of educational background, we don't have any minimal education background that you need to have diploma or bachelor degree. There is no such thing. Last year, just to give you a bit more feel, we have a good mixture and combination from SPM leavers, TVET certificate holders, even up to medical doctors and things like that. So it's a quite good diverse mixture that we have last year. So even this year, our primary or what we are more driven into is the value and the passion of these people to actually solve this social pain point in their own society, and also for people who are looking for the opportunity for the right platform, who wanted to, they wanted to develop their idea further, but they couldn't find the right platform to do it. So this is SEED.Lab is something that they could consider as well. In terms of additional skill, what we are putting there is based on our learning from the first cohort. So if you have those skills, will be very much, added benefit as you embark on this journey with SEED.Lab later. The first one is entrepreneurship. Hence, we are, we keep engaging the entrepreneurship development club, not even only with MMU, but also with other units, because we know that these are the right, though the number might be very targeted and very small, but I know the chances of translating this into application would be higher because you have that passion towards entrepreneurship at least. Second is IT, because a lot of the solution, because we wanted to leverage on technology and innovation, so we wanted the solution to be repeatable and scalable. So it need to embed some kind of IT or technology bit in it. So last year we have very one or two only participants who have this kind of background. So we hope to have more this year. Last but not least is accounting and finance, because in the end, SE needs to have a sustainable revenue and generating income on its own. So we need people with this background to develop their business model and basically looking into the financial aspect of the business. In terms of category that I mentioned, we are accepting both individual and teams. So this one, far next. So basically for individual, basically before we go into the application type, what we have identified from our end is the challenge area that we wanted to pursue for the second cohort. So there are 6 challenge statement we call. Challenge statement is challenge area, basically what we aspire to solve, that we talk to the people on the ground, and we feel like these are the potential challenge area for us to pursue and try to crack the code and solve together with our participant in the second cohort. So there are 4 domains, which are health and hygiene, personal and financial security, education and skill, and food and agri. And for each of these challenge area, domain area, there are two or one challenge statement. So these are basically what we plan to to pursue in our second cohort. So for application, it's either for individual, you can submit without idea, meaning if you can just submit application without considering or without submitting your idea in solving any of these challenge area. For individual also, but for individual, if you have any idea or you have worked on some solution or you have done some research or paperwork, or you have worked on something on any of these area before, and you wanted to submit and put your you put your solution up and submit it together with your application, you can also do that. For teams, it needs to be together with the ID submission. So for instance, perhaps you have a team or 2 to 3 team members that will have worked on something on financial literacy. So for instance, then you can actually submit it together with your idea in trying to solve the challenge statement. So that is what we meant by the submission with idea and without idea. So with idea meaning you have any idea in solving any of these challenge areas that we have identified. But we do also have this one wildcard section, in which that if you have any other idea or challenge area that you wanted to dive deeper and develop in the program, but they don't belong to any of these domain area or any of these challenge statement, you can still submit it together with your application for our consideration. So we are also making it open that way. All right. Next. So lastly, just quickly on the application process. The application is through our website, www.SEED.Lab.ny. There will be 2 rounds of interviews for all applicants. Pretty much straightforward. The first one is individual interview, just to get to know each individual in person better. Even if you apply in team, you will also still be attending this individual interview for each of your team members. The second round is the group interview. Group interview is basically for you to work on a case study. We just wanted to see and evaluate your interaction with other people in the team member, because teamwork is really important in this program. You can't be working alone. You'll be working in a team and coming up with a solution and working on the project. So we also wanted to, that is also a major part of consideration in terms of selection of the participants in the program later. If you pass those interview, then you are shortlisted, then we will proceed with issuance of offer letter. So we have started in terms of timeline, we started our receiving application 24th May, earlier, like 2-3 weeks ago. And we hope to close our application on 20th June and to issue the offer letter by 2nd July in preparation for the commencement of the program on 2nd August. So in case you are working, we hope that this 1 month notice period would be sufficient for you to tender your resignation from your current employer, because we do have quite a number. I think 1/3 of our last participant from the last cohort are actually people who are working. They quit their job and they join the program. So we also take that part, take that as a part of our consideration in developing and outlining our timeline for this year. Yeah. Okay. Next one. So, yep. So in case this is something that fit you and this is something that you wanted to give a shot, and this is something that makes you excited. So this is something that you can always go to our website, not only to apply, but also if you wanted to know more what we do, what our products, and all information about the program, even about the challenge statement that we have listed earlier. So all the information is made available through our website, www.SEED.Lab.my. You can always, if you have any question, you can always go there, reach out to us, and we will reply accordingly. Okay. Lastly, this one, I think I'll just leave it I'll leave it the intro to the CEO themselves later. But basically, these are the 3 products that we have formed. So like I mentioned, there are 36 participants that started the journey with us last year. 25 of them completed and graduated from the program, and they made up these 3 ventures called the Mind, Food Lab, and Softnext. So I think I'll just leave the introduction part to the CEO, because they know their business the best. So but before we go into the sharing part, perhaps if there is any question, you can unmute your mic, or you can just use the chat, and I'll get my team to reply to you accordingly.
Any opportunities for internationals?
At the moment, we are taking Malaysian, below 35 years old. So we at that immediately for cohort 2, that is some that would be it. But perhaps June, if you wanted to add on this part, June, is June in?
So is it June Ayub?
Yep, is she in? I'm not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
really see my.
I saw
But I
I saw her
think
name.
yeah. But yeah, but for immediately for the second cohort, that we are only taking in Malaysian. But let's see if if we can have more. This is something that we can explore for our future cohort. But for the second cohort, we are